but I deeply doubt it. Yesterday, I had an exchange with a very senior member of this administration who wanted to sell me on this deal. I pointed out that that was fine, except that, as I phrased it to him, frankly, the base has just vanished. Well, he replied, then they must not have read the details. There, in a nutshell, is this administration. They didn't make a bad deal. We just don't understand it. Just as it was our fault, Mr. President, for not understanding your refusal of even the most perfunctory of investigations of rendition or domestic spying or the other crimes of the Bush administration, or why you have now established for those future administrations who want to repeat those crimes that the punishment for them will be nothing. Just as it was our fault, Mr. President, for not understanding Afghanistan. Just as we didn't correctly perceive, sir, the necessity for the continuation of Gitmo, or how we failed to intuit, President Obama, your preemptive abandonment of single payer in the public option, or how we could not have foreseen your foot dragging on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, just as we shouldn't have gotten you angry at your news conference today and made all the moderate Democrats wonder why in the hell you get publicly angry so often at the liberals who campaigned for you, and whether you might save just a touch of that sarcasm and the self-martyrdom for the Republicans. And of course, Mr. President, we totally betrayed your administration by not concluding our prayers every night, by saying, thank you for preventing another Great Depression. You are entitled to skate along on your own wonderfulness indefinitely, and if you get less than you could have on health care reform or taxes, well, that'll be okay. We're happy to pay $10,000 for a $300 car because, hey, it could have been $20,000, right? And because we only expect you to do one thing correctly during a presidency, and you know you had pretty much cleared that obligation when it proved that you were indeed not John McCain. We're very sorry. In some sense, the senior member's remark about how we did not read the details is not utterly absurd. We have enabled this president and his compromises spinning within compromises, and now there are finally those within his own party who has had enough. In the Senate, the independent Mr. Sanders has threatened to filibuster this deal. He deserves the support of every American in doing so, as do Mr. Hoyer and Mr. Conyers and the others in the House. It is not disloyalty to the Democratic Party to tell a Democratic president he is wrong. It is not disloyalty to tell him he is goddamned wrong. It is not disloyalty for the 99ers and the 99ers to rally in the streets of Washington. It is not disloyalty to remind the president that he was elected by people to whom he had given a clear outline of what he would do for them. And if he does not steer out of the skid of what he is doing to them, he will not only not be reelected, he may not even be renominated. It is not disloyalty to remind him that we are not bound to an individual. We are bound to principles. If the individual changes or fails often and needlessly, then we get a new man or woman. None of that is disloyalty. It is self-defense. It is the acknowledgement that, as my hero Thurber wrote, you might as well fall flat on your face as lean over too far backward. That is what the base is saying to this president about his presidency. Well, then, we must not have read the details. The Churchill quotation, as opposed to the quotation from that very senior member of your administration, Mr. President, is from October 5th of 1938. I don't want to make any true comparison to the historical event to which it related. The viewer can go ahead and look it up if they wish. I will confess I won't fight if anybody wants to draw a comparison between what you've done with our domestic policies of our day to what Neville Chamberlain did with the international politics of his. But the rest of what Churchill said, paraphrased, but only slightly paraphrased, bears repeating again. The terrible words have, for the time being, been pronounced against this administration. Thou art weighed in the balance and found wanting. And do not suppose that this is the end. This is only the beginning of the reckoning. This is only the first sip of a bitter cup which will be proffered to us year by year unless by a supreme recovery of moral health and political vigor we arise again and take our stand for what is right. Good night and good luck.